I came out of Catholic high school, was very on fire for the Lord. Holy Spirit was very active in my life, and I was praying every day, and I just was really very in tune to what the Lord wanted me to do, and I felt like He wanted me to go to Michigan. So we had orientation, which you've all been through. It's a boring couple days of just sitting around and them telling you random things that you'll forget, right? And one of the days we had this session, and it was all about sex. Everyone sits up a little straighter, right? Like, what? What's he talking about? And it was really awkward and uncomfortable, and pretty much the message of it was, we know you're going to do it, just do it safely, right? That was the message. And here I am, this good Catholic boy sitting there thinking, like, I'm not doing it. And what are they talking about? This isn't right. This isn't right. And then what was weird is we went to a small group to talk about the bigger group thing that we had just talked about. So we went from what was already uncomfortable to a smaller group to talk about it, right? And so now there's probably 35 freshmen who are all kind of like looking around at each other, and this graduate student trying to lead us in this discussion. And somehow, I don't even remember how it happened, but instead of talking about what we were supposed to talk about, we started talking about abortion. Now we went from like kind of uncomfortable to really uncomfortable and really dividing on what people thought about this, especially at the University of Michigan, as I'm sure you've experienced at this state school too. And so here I am, I'm sitting there, and I'm just like shocked at what people are saying. And I knew what the world thought about this, and people are just, standing up being so triumphant and proud of what they believe, and it's just completely the opposite of what I know to be true. And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, I start to pray. I say, Lord, why am I here? This is really strange and uncomfortable, and I don't like this. And are you sure you wanted me here at the University of Michigan? Are you sure? This is not okay. And I felt like in my spirit, the Lord said, yeah, you're here, so pay attention. I was like, okay. So I start listening to the discussion a little bit more, and it's just one person after another. This graduate students just calling out, people standing up and saying, this is what I believe, and this is why, women has the right to choose. All this, all the stuff you've heard a million times. And finally, I'm praying. I just say, Lord, what do you want me to do here? Do you want me to say something? What do you want me to do? And I really felt like He said, you need to defend me. You need to stand up and defend me. And I said, yeah, good one. I thought you wanted me to walk out or something. That sounds a lot more appealing right now. How about, I'll check back in with you in a minute. Let's just, you reconsider, and we'll talk again, right? And so I keep sitting there listening to the discussion, and I finally decide to check in with him again. I say, okay, Lord, what do you want me to do? He says, you need to defend me. I said, no! This is ridiculous. I'm a freshman. Come on. And finally I said, okay, Lord, I've decided to live for you. I've decided to be your disciple. You've done so much in my life and I do trust you. But if I'm going to do this, you got to give me something. You got to give me something to help me out, because I can't do this on my own. I have no idea what I'm going to say. I don't have anything really to say other than, the token phrases we've all learned. So give me something. And as soon as I said that prayer, I kid you not, as soon as I said that prayer, I just felt power. And I can't explain what that feels like other than I felt power. And next thing I know, I don't even remember doing this, I just was on my feet. And I wasn't called on, so everyone's like, And I'm standing there like, hi, And then suddenly I just said one more quick prayer. I said, Lord, be with me. And immediately I just started preaching. And I mean preaching. Like, I was just preaching it. And I was saying, I'm not trying, I honestly don't remember the words I said, other than I know I preached Jesus. And I know I preached the truth. And I was flowing for like 5 minutes. I was just railing, all right? And the graduate students, everybody's eyes were about this big. It was awesome. And by the time I'm done, there's just a stunned silence in the room. And the graduate student who's leading it's just like, well, that's a good session. I think we're done for the day. And we all get up and we start filing it off. And I'm standing there, and I'm like, well, okay. I guess I don't know what that accomplished, but okay, I did what the Lord wanted me to do. And I start walking out, and I'm walking down the hallway, and everyone's like, and so I'm walking, I'm like, whatever, you're losers. And I'm just kidding. But I feel this tap on my shoulder, And I turn around, and there's this young woman standing there with tears in her eyes. And she just said, "Thank you." I said, "Okay, what for?" She said, I'm right there with you. I believe everything you just said. But I didn't have the courage to stand up. And I was praying that the Lord would have somebody stand up and speak the truth. I was praying that somebody else would have the courage to do this. And I was really concerned that nobody would. And she said, "I'm so sorry I didn't stand up with you." And I was like, I gave her a hug. I was like, oh, that made my day. You know? And it was just this beautiful moment where the Lord confirmed in me that I had done what He wanted me to do, that I had delivered the message, and that He really wanted me to be there. But the reason I tell this story is that none of it would have been possible. I would not have had the courage had the Holy Spirit not been burning in my heart. Had I not prayed and asked for more, for that courage to stand up just like Peter did, to stand up and speak the truth, it wouldn't have happened.